is what we call
hater shit.
There is no better term. I just want to throw it out there, sponsors. Don't you think it's weird that most of my success and growth of my accounts has come from documenting meticulously all of the things that I've gone through for the past, 10 years or so. And now they've created a set of circumstances surrounding me that literally prevents me from being able to blog about my situation.
What?
Like the main chunk of what's going on in my life right now and all of its causalities, I'm not permitted to discuss.
Well,
no one sees that as counterproductive, malicious, interfering with my ability to make money from my experience.
Make money from your experience? There we go. There we go. Let's give it up. There we go. To make money from my experience. You're a sick son of a bitch.
Interfering with my ability to make money from my experiences, from my followings. Let's add up all the followers I've had from the original Coco Chanel YSL, no periods, to the Heather Gillespie, to the Coco.Chanel.YSL, to the one Heather GEE, to the HLG Forever.
I want to see, y'all need to see her little outfit. I mean, she got all out and ready for this. I mean, she got her hair done, like her makeup did, her outfit, like she had her notepad and her pen, like she was ready for it.
I did a couple of shorts about the What's Your Impact campaign, and I wanted to do a quick live to talk about some of the points. If you guys are content creators, I highly suggest you jump on board with the campaigning for positivity and positive causes, impacts, and long-lasting effects on society, yourselves, and your audiences. So that's the main message of What's Your Impact. And GoPro Solo is my brand that has evolved.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Why are we dressed like we're going for an important interview, mother effer? Like, what are you doing here? You got all dressed up and did up for us pretty little things? How important we feel. Wow, that's so cool of you. That's weird. Why don't you dress up and go to a fucking job interview?
Over the course of the past 10 years and taken many different directions to finally kind of find its place in, I don't want to call it online coaching, more like leadership.
I swear if this girl gets in some type of like MLM, influencer coaching, scam shit, I'm going to lose my shit.
For my own best intentions, best efforts, and acknowledgement of my impact with my content, what it's been, what I want it to be, and where it's going. So with so many, we've discussed this before, with so many of the world star style of content creators that are out there, and so many, such a large audience for that type of content, we really have to decide, no matter what our niche is and no matter what type of content we're choosing to film, how to weigh that out and balance that out with what the world needs. So not just what we enjoy creating and what we think is fun to share, but really what our audience needs to see. The main thing that I have noticed is that when we talk about bullying, when I was in school, if you were getting bullied, you could get bullied by one or maybe two people, and that would be a bad day, and you would come home and internalize or deal with it, in whatever your coping way was. Now we're talking about bullying to scale, where children, if they're getting bullied at school and online, can be, facing thousands or more of really antagonistic, pessimistic, sometimes even physically assaulting types of behaviors.
True that,
so everyone, at this early age wants to be cool and wants to be socially accepted. And so they're looking to content creators and people with any sort of following.
She's talking about herself. She's talking about herself. She's looking at all these content creators. She's the high school kid.
for guidance, and they're not saying please guide me. They're telling you that they want your guidance when they click the follow button. When they subscribe to your content, they're telling you that they want your guidance, that they look up to you, that they are looking to you for advice, that they think you are an admirable person or a cool person or whatever their reason is. As soon as they click that subscribe or like button, you have to understand that you've now taken on the responsibility of being a leader and quite literally an influencer over this person. Okay. And this person has, an effect on other people who have an effect on other people who have an effect on other people. And then it's the butterfly effect. But a couple of the points I wanted to make.
Stop. I can't take this serious right now. Okay. I don't know why. I've always had a love-hate relationship with Heather's teaching lessons. She loves to teach. I really wonder if she honestly wanted to be a teacher in real life, but she just couldn't do it. And then plus, I'm sure she wouldn't like the money that it got. But boy, does she love to teach. And do y'all know, whenever she teaches, she comes to teach. Okay? Like, she comes dressed and ready. She got her high heels on, her skirt. Y'all see what she's wearing? Her hair and her makeup all did up. This bitch just crossed her legs and put her notepad on her lap, and she's about to write something down. And another thing.
But a couple of the points I wanted to make were everyone should be obviously promoting happiness, prosperity, freedom, fun, encouragement, compassion. But there's also going to be times when we see people who are struggling, and we see that through cries for help in their content. I brought up in conversation with someone maybe 40, 30 years ago, Tupac made a song called Changes.
Say something.
And I, in my own hobbies and just studies, I really enjoy learning. I thoroughly enjoy it. And in studying lyrics, I have noticed that there are many, 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 many occasions where, especially in hip hop and rap music, where it feels like the author, the rapper, the lyricist, the writer, the director, the producer, or that group as a whole is reaching out for help through their art. Their medium is their music. There are so many lyrics in that song Changes that just go to show you what we need, what we have been asked for, what we've been asked of ourselves, of our leadership, of our government.
Okay, sorry. I'm really going to try to let her talk. But that's almost anybody. That doesn't have to be someone to rap a song. That everybody should know, yeah, fucking be a better person. Help lift each other up.
Ourselves, of our leadership, of our government. They say that the war is on poverty, and we truly have been shielded, in my generation especially, from understanding that. I know that I was raised to believe that you're bad if you go to jail, and that you're bad if you engage in behaviors that are not morally and ethically responsible. We have not been incentivized to learn about what causes those behaviors. Need, quite literally, to engage in those types of behaviors. So when I'm asking what's your impact and what's your social impact, and what kind of content are you creating, what I'm really asking is, are you aware of the status of the entire world, as a whole, and what our real problems are? And if you answer yes, then make sure that the content that you're creating mostly, or at least, some of, has the end goal in mind of bringing awareness to, or happiness to, or change to, a certain topic. I myself have been going through various, I don't want to call them simulations, but they feel very much like simulations of the struggle that many have faced living in situations of poverty, drug addiction, government intervention and control, not having a lawyer and being faced with charges that you didn't commit or accusations that you didn't, that are not true. And I feel like in going through that, the world is kind of crying out for solutions, and the internet is the way that those problems can come to light in a scale, quantity. Before, it would be like, oh my God, I just made this realization that this is going on, that people are being falsely convicted, that there's, inequities in the system. Maybe I could tell 5 or 10 people, in a few months. But with the internet, we can reach thousands, and we have to find creative ways of acknowledging the struggle that others have had, and also being proactive in solutions to those struggles. I think that I and others who choose to create morally and ethically sound content, or document, adversities, have traditionally been met with adversity, ourselves, for speaking out. I don't think that's a good enough reason to stop speaking out. So I think that we should reframe, and rather than saying in a blaming sort of way, you did this, you did that, what did you do? Why would you do that? It's better to say, what is your impact?
Someone said, I wonder what's on that notepad. And all I could think about is just Heather drawing a picture of her and Xavier. That's probably way funnier than my head.
And I really feel like asking that question repetitively, and asking that question in different ways, in plain English like I just did, or whatever language, your audience is speaking, but also in art. So, I did have a post here. It was a post that I originally made on TikTok, where I'm wearing, or the model is wearing, like this really kind of soft, feminine skirt and holding a flower, and her hair is just kind of billowing in the wind, very carefree, very lighthearted, and wholesome kind of looking. And then the last of the photos is like a zoom in on this person's body, and there was like some self-mutilation or like scratches. And
why are you talking in third person? We all know you're talking about your dang self, Heather. Why are you talking? Oh, I mean the model. It was the model. You were the model. Remember, you're everything.
Way that we can raise awareness for these types of problems. For the most part, people in the world are not sad, depressed, crazy, or bipolar, or having personality disorders, or adverse to compassion, unless they have been mislabeled, misdiagnosed, and beaten into those labels.
I thought I had.
And to kind of go into that deeper, when someone is being mistreated and they start to lose their ability to articulate what's going on, and they start to lose faith, and they start to feel unseen and unheard, that's when we start receiving, as society as a whole starts receiving, the negative blowback of that. The outbursts in the street, the physical fighting, the attacks on people, the robberies, the smash and grabs, in the downtown area. I was out here in downtown Chicago during the BLM protesting of 2020, and there were coordinated attacks on businesses, on people, on vehicles, et cetera, and so forth. The reason for that is not because people were sitting around living fantastic lifestyles. The reason for that is because people were coming from a place of lack. They were coming from a place of not having enough opportunity, enough money, enough access, enough education. So we have to really, in the content that we're creating, not only create opportunities for bridging those gaps, and filling in that lack with abundance, but also for kind of lifting the collective vibration and changing the energy, with happiness, with laughter, with excitement, with education. Coursera is offering a free.
What the fuck is there?
It's a free application that offers a plethora of free courses that could bring a lot of job security for people who need it. Also, courses that could guide our graduating classes into their next steps. A huge thing that I've told my daughter, I have a 17-year-old daughter who graduates this year, and I've told her, do not rush into signing a bunch of, FAFSA, taking out a bunch of student loans and putting yourself into a tremendous amount of debt before you're ready and you know what you want to do with your life. And this is important for everyone. A course like Coursera, there are doctorate educators who are offering courses from universities, four-year universities, very credible universities, and this is opening doors and for opportunity to people who would have never had this access before. You don't need to have prerequisites. I don't even think you need to be a high school graduate to enroll in these style of courses. So when we're offering any product, service, content creation, team building exercises, fundraisers, employment opportunities, at the end of the day, I just really want to stress the importance of this campaign, what's your impact. And I'm one of many, many, many people who have used that phrase, what is your impact, to promote the awareness of and responsibility associated with being an influencer or speaking on a public platform where you have large audience. Even if you only get 27 views, you don't know who those 27 views will be. Make sure that at some point in time, through your documenting or your niche, if you're a dancer or if you are, documenting adversity for people, make sure that the way that you're going about it is not with the intention of causing uproar, but with the intention of causing action for empowerment and for change and for, as I said, opportunity. And that's the best advice that I could give to anyone, is just take your time. I have learned, over the years, I've been creating content. This is my, I want to say, 7th or 8th complete set of channels, because I have moved around from niche to niche. I've rebranded. I've gone through things. I've documented things that I probably didn't want to share in hindsight. I've left things out that probably would have been beneficial. I'm learning like everyone else is, and I'm sharing everything that I'm learning as I go. And I think that that's all we can ask of each other. The internet is not that new, but it's still fairly new, and social media is incredibly new, and there's so much opportunity that it creates. But with opportunity and anything new, there's also a large window for abuse, for harassment, for hatred. And just like the positivity can be spread to scale, so can all of those other, negative things. So just a little bit about the Impact campaign. I really, really, really want to encourage everyone to create your own 6 weeks of campaigning. I know that most content creators don't have digital teams, unless you're like a sponsored, very large content creator. You're usually either mostly your own content creation digital team, meaning you're creating your own agendas. You're thinking of your own ideas. You might hire someone for creative once you get really big, but if you're influencing, especially with organic influencing, and you're not, paying for views or getting paid for them, when you're at this early stage of growth, it's really, really important to plan out your content and make sure that you have a good schedule of topics. So GoPro Solo is doing 4 weeks of campaigning. We've already completed the first 4 weeks. I will post the schedule again. I've posted it a bunch of times on Instagram and also here.
I have to see a picture of this. What if this is that dress that she wore in the hotel room / shelter room. Y'all remember? It was like a red nightgown. What if that's what she can't. There's no way. She gotta have some pants on. But no, she crossed her legs. She didn't look like she had pants on. I need to see your fit.
But when we are posting that, those schedules, it's not to tell you what to do with your brand. It's not to tell you what to do with your business. It's not to appear like I know more than you. It's just to hopefully inspire, someone or some groups of someone's, to maybe make one less post of someone getting hurt, falling down, breaking a limb, whatever, and maybe one more post about motivation or opportunity or encouragement. I know that just watching the motivating words across the screen can feed faith for sure, but even that gets boring and old.
Boring,
and,
she said.
Almost tedious. We have so much of it. What I think the internet really needs are creative content creators and teams who are going to subliminally reprogram the minds of our youth in ways that will help future generations, in the future, and the world. What these kids see us doing, they think is cool. If you have 6 figures in your follower list, you are being idolized. Whether you understand that, like that, or intended to have that cause, that's what's going on. So these kids are looking up to you, and
girl, your kids are looking up to you. What you talking about?
If you're dancing around the world, that's fantastic. Just try to connect that to some worthy cause. There's this Surthy Cooks, SurthyCooks. This woman is incorporating language. She's speaking in multiple languages on her platforms. She is dressing in costumes on her platforms. She's incorporating makeup, fashion. She's incorporating family. She puts her children on sometimes. Pardon me. And she's cooking large quantities of meals and bringing them out to underserved populations on camera. And that's so, you've got a lot going on there. You've got cooking. She posts her recipes. You can follow along with them. You've got family. You've got morals, values, ethics. You've got makeup. You've got fashion. You've got all of this stuff rolled into one. And it's not just your traditional kind of, this too shall pass in some fancy font. So you're giving the motivation, you're giving the comfort, you're reaching the people, you're touching all these niches, and the outcome, I think, is tremendous. She's one of the best accounts I personally have found, and I've done some research on, morally sound and ethically worthy social media accounts. So Surthy Cooks, if you guys want to check that one out, it's a really good one. GoPro Solo is, I'm hoping, so I applied for EIN for GoPro Solo in 2018.
Tell me about it.
I was planning at the time to make it a company for profit. It was going to be an incorporation. I'm now trying to work out the details, to go towards the nonprofit path. I want to make GoPro Solo more of, not so much of an anti-bullying campaign as a awareness, coaching, kind of think tank.
You can't even call
for
it
content creators and for anyone who finds the content interesting. So that's where we're at with that. And as I said before, this is my 10th or maybe 8th, who knows, complete set of social medias. My social medias have been hacked. They have been removed. They have been sabotaged. They have been a wide range of harassment has come through my social medias. And I'm fairly certain that most of the rules and regulations that Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook have, and YouTube have for harassment and bullying guidelines probably have all impacted me in one way or another, and has somehow helped with evolving their policies, because you name it and I have experienced it. So if we could just subliminally be making sure that our messages are well intended and well received, that's where I think our best efforts would be. I think that's what we need to do, period. Lastly, I've talked about AI. I know very little about AI. I've taken an introduction to artificial intelligence course, and I've listened to several amazing speakers discuss AI. I've seen some things that I don't even know are really available to the public about AI, and I truly believe that AI is learning from humans. When we think of an AI like Siri, for instance, or Alexa, in the early generations of Alexa and Siri, you could say something to them and they would have no idea what you were talking about, and they would say, "I'm sorry," or I don't understand," or something like that. Every time that data set increases, so every time a new person asks or we ask again, and the software evolves, it now understands what we mean when we say that thing that 10 generations ago of development, it never understood. So when I say that artificial intelligence is being programmed by human behavior, I really truly mean that, and I think that in itself is incredibly impactful. So thank you guys so much for being here. I just wanted to clarify on the What's Your Impact campaign. It's nothing specific. It's meant to be motivational for myself, for others, for anyone who wants to jump on board with that. And I will be posting the 4 weeks of campaigning. These are just my 4 weeks. I switch them up from time to time, but this is something I've been doing irregularly but repetitively for about 5-6 years now. And I invite you all to create your own campaigns and your own causes and campaign for them. So have a great night, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna jump off of here and make a few more shorts. I need to begin, very soon, collaborating, and the DM is open. I love to hear your guys' ideas and what you're thinking and your feedback, constructive as per the usual. I was really thinking Xavier and I were going to start randomly approaching people and asking them what they think when we ask the question, "What's your impact?" I think that might be some good content, and creating a bunch of shorts of just me randomly asking people what do they think about the sentence or phrase, "What's your impact?"
Dude, that would be so fucking stupid funny.
And that would also be a good way to kind of get more buzz and more publicity and marketing towards this campaign and make it like a bigger deal. All right, guys, have a good night. As someone who's experienced bullying, harassment, and even assault, I had to find a way to speak out.
How are you smiling while saying that? Are you kidding me? How would anyone believe that?
As someone who's experienced bullying, harassment, and even assault, I had to find a way to speak out. The Impact campaign is our way of encouraging accountability and introspection.
I can't.
The Impact campaign is our way of encouraging accountability and introspection.
What the fuck? She really think this is like an infomercial? So what is she doing? Girl, you look so silly.
The Impact campaign is our way of encouraging accountability and introspection. What's Your Impact calls into question how we can affect the environments and people that we encounter on an everyday basis to improve the quality overall.
Heather, we can so tell you're reading off of your phone or something. What is going on? What are you doing, dude? I bet it was that dress, wasn't it?
What's Your Impact calls into question how we can affect the environments and people that we encounter on an everyday basis to improve the quality overall. When you're calling your kid over and over and over on FaceTime and then they text you back. When you're calling your kid over and over and over on FaceTime and then they text you back.
One more time for the people in the back.
When you're calling your kid over and over and over on FaceTime and then they text you back. I decided to call it the What's Your Impact campaign because anti-bullying is basically saying the same thing that I'm looking to say, but in a negative way. So when you're learning about faith and energy and communication and psychology, statistically, you get a better result if you put things in the affirmative. So saying What's Your Impact campaign, or we're campaigning for kindness or compassion, is better received, is more well received than anti-bullying. But it's basically the same thing. Okay, I wrote down some notes for the graduates. My daughter is graduating this year. To all the kids approaching graduation, my best advice as a mom and as someone who is in a tremendous amount of college debt. Take your time. Find out what you like. Don't rush into college. Most definitely don't rush into college loans. Find out what you like. Take free courses. They have Coursera.
Why is she talking about loans? Like, if you go to college, you're still going to have to pay the loan back. I mean, my thing is, if you want to take a break, take a break. If you want to go to college, go to college. If you don't want to go to college, don't go to college. If you want to go to trade school, go to trade school. It is what it is. But I know that if you want to go to college, I suggest them not take a very big break, because then they're going to get used to not going to school and not fucking go. You need to be careful what you freaking say to your kids, bro.
What you like. Take free courses. They have Coursera. They have a whole bunch of apps just like Coursera where you could take little tiny classes to see what you have.
I just remembered in the video, I said, who's Sarah? Coursera. Okay. Got it.
Interest in. On top of that, take a year off. Work if you want. Spend time with your friends. Don't rush the next steps. And definitely don't rush the next steps so that you can put yourself in a tremendous amount of debt. How, in some movies, the victim is, trying to, make some sort of facial expression or, get the attention of people that she's being victimized or he is being victimized, but she can't speak it out because her captors or her oppressors are always there. That's a real thing. So I was watching an episode of Law & Order SVU the other day where these police wanted to arrest the man in a relationship of a husband, wife, and child. And the wife is like, don't arrest him. And the cops are like, but he beats you up and assaults you. And she's like, yeah, he also pays the bills here and I can't work. So just compassion.
Bitch, hell no. Get gone, motherfucker.
And I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. I've taken so much flack in my inbox from people saying universal incomes will never be a real thing. There is only one way to resolve the majority of the problems that we have in the world. If someone is being abused and they can't get away, if someone doesn't have access to opportunity.
Are you seriously saying that's the only way? I'm going to need to stop interrupting her.
Someone cannot afford to pay bills, if someone is reliant on another person, place, thing, or environment because of financial reason, which is most of the reason, universal incomes, evolve digital currency and give everyone enough. The reality is the only people who would be angry about a universal income are the middle class. Because if you're living in poverty, you're most likely getting welfare of some kind, housing of some kind. If you're rich, you're most likely evading taxes legally. And if you're in the middle class, you feel as though you're carrying the majority of the burden, and you kind of feel like slaves because you're working really, really hard to have a decent quality of life, which is extravagant compared to those living in poverty, and is terrible compared to those living in, wealth. So how can we make it easier on the middle class? Artificial intelligence.
Get the fuck out of here.
The reality is the only people who would be angry about a universal income are the middle class. And when I say poverty is the real prison, I mean, have you ever not had enough money to buy toilet paper to wipe your butt?
Yes.
I think more than half of mental health disorders are actually just causal responses to abuses, circumstances, and environments. Can you guys see the green in my eyes? On my driver's license, they wrote brown, but they're really this color.
Well, you don't need brown.
I think I should go back. Even with regards to sociopathy and psychopathy, they all have clear or fairly clear etiology when you go back and study them. So, I mean, the argument that mental health illness is an illness is really a trash argument, because either it's an injury or it's an abuse response. Either way, it's not just like people are sitting around living their best lives and then they start having freakouts, for the most part. And they improperly diagnose a lot of people with a lot of stuff that doesn't even really exist. If you switch it up and move them to a different space, surround them with a different kind of person, all of that mental health is gone, and all of a sudden you're dealing with a completely different person. And if one of our biggest and oldest problems...
She said, just print more money. Why is this even a thing? Poverty. That sounds like me. Just print more money. Just print more money. Give me money.
And if one of our biggest and oldest problems is poverty, and they've been singing about it openly in songs, and the songs have reached the masses, so the songs have been advertised and marketed and reached people to scale, why do we still have poverty? If people have known this whole time that that's the problem, then it almost seems like they want people to suffer, right? I just don't understand why we have poverty. It's so dumb. We don't need to have poverty. Everyone should be able to go to the ATM and take out what they need.
Damn.
That's it.
There would literally no fucking money left, you idiot.
Who cares if every single person goes to the ATM and takes out what they need? So what? Just print more money.
Just print more money.
And if one of our...
That scared me for a second. I thought she was hanging out the window. I need to go to sleep.
At all the stages of my life, whether I was making a bunch of money or barely making any money, I never wanted to see someone else not make money. Good morning, YouTube. I am up and getting ready to go.
Oh my gosh, the stupid sound. Heather Gillespie, 1 Heather G, May 22nd, 2024, 7:51 a.m. Good morning, I'm pumping 13 weeks postpartum.
To see my 13-week-old son, that sound you hear is the sound of my breast pump, the Medela Pump and Style. I breastfeed 3 days a week, and I'm pumping the rest of the days. Thank God, because I know those antibodies are medically proven to be absolutely just, you cannot replicate them. So I'm really grateful for that. If you guys have not been here for the entire journey, catch yourselves up by reviewing the Instagram if you're interested. If not, no worries. Welcome anyways. I hope you guys have a great day. I am getting ready.
How do you feed the faith when effort isn't matching with outcome? You haven't even actually put real effort in, so you're not going to have a real outcome.
You guys know how I really believe in God, and
Not really.
I go to church pretty regularly.
Not for the right reason.
I've always prayed, even in the times I haven't been able to go to church. But I'm just having a really, I'm trying so hard to have unwavering faith here. There's so much going on that I'm just learning about in the world and with myself personally, and it just causes me to feel such a tremendous amount of dis-ease, uneasiness. It's like, how could these things be possible? I'm in a shelter right now, and I have more than a bachelor's degree education and have applied to no less than 300 jobs. And I'm not hearing anything back. And I have a 13-week-old and three other children who I've raised mostly by myself their entire lives.
10:46 a.m. Oh, there it is. I was wondering when the old cash out was going to pop up. We haven't received any donations yet, sponsors. To be clear, this is for my pump and phone bill. Please send $90 ASAP. The cash tag has been updated. I swear, if y'all get her a new pump, this is ridiculous to me. I've never needed to buy 2 pumps or ask someone to buy me 2 pumps whenever I was pregnant. I was good with 1. Thinking about applying for the CPD. Oh, hey. Wow. 3:45 p.m.
All right, you guys, we had the visit. It was great. My son is doing great. He's 3 months old and 1 week. He's cooing and making baby noises. The other 3 kids are doing great. My oldest is graduating this year, so that's fantastic. Time is really flying by. I'm still eagerly looking for remote work opportunities.
Eagerly, y'all.
I've applied at pretty much everywhere from basic entry-level Starbucks types positions all the way up to administrator roles. And if you have a position that you think I might qualify for, or
that's not true. People's actually reached out to you for different jobs and you won't do it. And don't you think I will ever forget about the freaking job at Mariano's or Mariano's or whatever the motherfuck it's called. Isn't that the place that wanted to hire? But it was too low. Bitch. You was fucking sleeping outside. What you had to pay for?
Time is really flying by. I'm still eagerly looking for remote work opportunities. I've applied at pretty much everywhere from basic entry-level Starbucks types positions all the way up to administrator roles. And if you have a position that you think I might qualify for or be great at, please review the bio section here on the highlights reel. My resume is posted along with several letters of recommendation. If anyone can please, sponsors, send over the 60 for the pump and the 30 for the phone.
No.
Also, we have like 3 outfits each. I've been telling everyone
Let's add more
that we should fundraise for like 1,000, but we're doing 100, please. 100.
What the fuck? This is so ridiculous. You're so disgusting. As a human being, like how are you not embarrassed? Any amount is appreciated. Please donate via Cash App. If you don't want a thank you shout out, please make sure you say no shout out in the memo line of your donation. Yeah, because we gonna call them motherfuckers out. And I've heard Heather tell them that fucking before, and they still fucking put their name on there. This month's fundraiser, first of all, you have more than one little fucking, if you want to call it a fundraiser month. I guess I need to start doing a fundraiser motherfucking month. It'll be like rent. Power. This month's fundraiser is for phone and pump/bags nursing supplies. Thank you for actually putting this up. Thank you so much for putting this up, because this is all DCF needs to see, is that Heather cannot provide for her kids. She has to go online and eBay and ask people for fucking bags. And to help with your phone. How would you be able to take care of him again?
This is the first time ever that I've needed something.
I hope it fucking stays like that. Goal $90, currently $0 out of 90. And I know there's gonna be people out there. People are fucking weird. People do it, they like get off, and then some people like, I guess, feel bad for her. I don't know, but it's weird as heck. I'm gonna say my buck.
This is the first time ever that I've needed something and that there have not been any donations.
Isn't that, thank you. Thank you so much for admitting that. Thank you so much for admitting that. Because whatever Heather wants, she usually gets. The only thing she doesn't have yet is her actual own fully furnished apartment in a Cadillac CTS. But she is oh so close because she does have a hotel room to herself, which is her shelter. Ain't that a bitch? And she just admitted to herself, there's never a thing that she fucking needs that her little sponsors don't fucking give her money for. And it's funny, look. Watch, I bet you an idiot's gonna donate.
This is the first time ever that I've needed something and that there have not been any donations. I don't know what's going on. This is the first time ever that I've needed something and that there have not been any donations. I don't know what's going on. What's going on, you guys? Where are my sponsors?
Over 2,000 views in 12 hours. If 100 people contribute $1, our goal will be met. Bitch, this is not our goal. Our goal is to get you the fuck off of here. That's just 1 out of 20th of the total viewers. Come on, guys, let's get it. 0% of our $100 goal. $100 left to reach the goal. May 23rd, 2024. Y'all don't donate. Please don't donate. And it just makes me, I don't understand. I don't even want to go on to this whole spiel again because I really honestly have a feeling that people who donate are struggling themselves. And that's what irritates me the most. If you want to give a crackhead money and do crack, whatever, that's on you. That's on your conscience, whatever. But whenever it comes to people who I feel like they're getting scammed and they don't know everything about it and they just see a poor, pitiful woman and they're like, oh, I can help even though I'm, really struggling paycheck to paycheck or I'm on disability right now. Like, fuck that. You trying to get people to pay for your fucking phone and a fucking extra pump? You already have a pump. Some people can't even pay their own fucking phone bill. 4:48 a.m. Hoping for a better day today. It makes me very nervous/anxious when the sponsors are not around. I'm sure it does, Heather. I'm sure it does because you don't have your money. That's when the most weird or uncomfortable occurrences usually take place. Got it. Thank you for telling on yourself. So whenever the sponsors aren't there, whenever the money's not there, then that's whenever weird shit starts happening. So you make up the weird shit because you really want money. So you do this storytelling so you can get money. Got it. Good job.
It is 4:48 and I have not received any donations yet. Sponsors, where are you? Are you guys here? And I have not received any donations yet. Sponsors, where are you? Are you guys here?
Are you guys here? Imagine being this desperate and this just ridiculous, sitting up, pumping, probably huffing again, and just checking your cash out to see if anyone's donated. You're a joke, fool.